And we're back. Rush Limbaugh, the Limbaugh Institute for Advanced Conservative Studies. And we are thrilled to have you with us. The whole convention, it was an explanation of failure amid assurances no one could have succeeded. You go back to 2008. Yes, we can. Yes, you remember that? Yes, we can. Yes, we can. And what did Clinton say? You know what? Not even I could have fixed this mess. And last night, that message was carried through all the way through to Obama. But Realville trumps Obama last night. Nothing he could have said that would have changed what he's done. Nothing he could have said would have changed what he's caused. Obama had these economic numbers last night, by the way. All day yesterday, the drive-bys kept teasing us. They kept saying, you know, Obama's going to have the economic numbers. I'll bet you they're going to be really good. The expectations were pretty high, by the way, I should tell you. The experts all thought the job numbers today would be great. And they were hoping and they were predicting Obama, he will allude to it in his speech. He'll say we've turned the corner. He'll say we're coming back and we'll wake up tomorrow and we'll get all this great economic news. Well, let me tell you what, Obama knew the news last night. He knew how bad these numbers were. He knew they're not spinnable. And I think that was a factor in Obama's attitude last night. I'm struck, folks, by how just subpar it was. Yeah, the experts are running around. Some of them are predicting 250,000 new jobs in August. We had 90, their hopes. When have the experts ever been right? 96,000 new jobs. 380 or 68,000 dropped out of the labor force. There are now about 89 million Americans not in the labor force. And if the same number of people had jobs today, or if there were the same number of jobs today available as there were 4 years ago, the unemployment rate would be 11.4%. It is just devastating what this man and his administration have done to this country. It's almost indescribable. By the way, Clint Eastwood has spoken up in the Carmel Pinecone, a local newspaper out there. Eastwood says his convention appearance was mission accomplished. After a week as topic number one in American politics, Clint Eastwood said the outpouring of criticism from left-wing reporters and liberal politicians after his appearance, followed by an avalanche of support on Twitter and in the blogosphere, is all the proof anybody needs that his appearance achieved exactly what he intended it to. Eastwood said to the Pinecone, President Obama is the greatest hoax ever perpetrated on the American people. That's Clint Eastwood. Barack Obama is the greatest hoax ever perpetrated on the American people. No, he's the second. Global warming is the greatest hoax because it lasted a long time. Global warming had a 25-year lifespan. That was... Oh, and by the way, Obama last night, he was talking to me last night. Hey, climate change is not a hoax. Yes, it is, just as you are. Bill Clinton described Obama as a fairy tale. And now Clint Eastwood said the greatest hoax ever perpetrated on the American people. Romney and Ryan would do much better job running the country, and that's what everybody needs to know. I may have irritated a lot of lefties, but I was aiming for people in the middle. That is what Clint Eastwood said. Let's go to the audio sample. One other observation here. This struck me actually yesterday, but it was drilled home last night. 1 week ago last night was when we had at the Republican convention all of those testimonials to the character and the life of Mitt Romney from average people, people that before the Republican convention nobody ever heard of. the family with the 14-year-old boy with cancer, the family with the sick little girl in the hospital. All of these people were character witnesses, and they were many and numerous. Who were the character witnesses for Barack Obama during this convention? There were 3. There was Bill Clinton, and that's big. You got Clinton as a character witness, you're in there. Number 2 was Michelle Obama, character witness. And the third one, who was the third character witness? Joe Bite Me last night. Joe Bite Me. I've sat there. I've sat next to him. I'm going to tell you something. It's like my dad said, Joey, somebody punches you in the nose, you kick them in the groin, and you look at them like they're Republicans, and you kick them again. And that's this guy. I have never seen a guy with a tougher spine of steel. That's this guy. I've seen him. I've sat next to him. This is the reason we're to reelect the guy. Michelle, you've seen the guy. I've seen him. I've worked up close to him. I may tell you that I've never, nobody. There's just nobody. And you know why? Because this guy's got courage. Oh, this guy's got courage and let me tell you. No, wait. Courage, incalculable courage. Oh, I've seen it. I've been up close 4 years. I have been there. It's like my dad said, Joey, get the hell out of the house. I'm sick of looking at you. That was it, folks. That was the sum total of character. And that was the reason to vote for Obama. He cares, and Biden has seen enough to know that he's a great guy. There wasn't a word about his charitable acts. There wasn't a word about Obama's interaction with people, that he's inspired. There was none of this. I'm telling you, Krauthammer used the word empty to describe Obama's speech last night. I think the whole convention ended up, because of the way it ended, being that way. Now, that's me. I actually think there's something else going on in the dynamic of the Democrat Party. I think there's a bunch of competing strings, ropes, that are being pulled within this party. I think you have the blind and the totally devoted who think that this last 3 days was nirvana and heaven, and they'd never seen anything like it, and they're happy as clams, and it's the most wonderful thing, and it's great. Then you have people who, you know what, this isn't working, I feel uncomfortable with it. And then you have people in the Democrat Party who know that if they don't do something fast, it's not just Obama that's going to go south, it's the whole party. There aren't very many of those. But yesterday, spent some time on the program detailing for you recent news stories from state-controlled slavish media that love Obama, New York Times and Politico. The Politico talked about how this guy hasn't given a good speech in 4 years. New York Times on Sunday ran a piece. Everybody thinks the guy's cocky and arrogant and so on. So what is this? And it's, as I told you, if these people in the media and if other powerful Democrats think they get it in their head that Obama's going to lose, they will throw him overboard to save the ideology. The ideology must be saved and will not be blamed. And that's what they're setting up when they say before last night that Obama hadn't given a good speech in 4 years. And by the way, that's still accurate. And that was the Politico. Obama hadn't given a good speech in 4 years. The New York Times piece on Sunday. If they think things are going south, if they think they're going to lose, they will start making sure that people understand it was Obama who blew it, not liberalism that was rejected. Not big government that was rejected, not spending that was rejected, not debt, not all the things that equal liberalism. None of that was rejected. Nope, it was Obama. People, they're going to have to, because the ideology comes first. Obama will become the latest passing personality. There are already a lot of stories, and look, that New York Times story was replete with people who don't really like the guy. They don't really know him. And how about the Woodward book now? Gosh, he can't even make a decision. The guy's not... Who's running this shop? Let me tell you something. The things that are being said about Obama now, 3 months before the election, by media and journalists who love the guy, supposedly, who are in the tank for the guy. You know how to read the stitches on a fastball like I do. If you know how to see the spin, note the curveball coming before it breaks, something is being set up out there. And within the bowels of the Democrat Party, there is a rising number of people, an increasing number of people who think this is over. And their fears were confirmed after Obama's speech last night. And that number is going to increase. If it weren't for a bunch of mitigating factors, Obama would be down 15 or 20 and ought to be. And the real question is, how is this race in these polls still even? Especially now given that speech last night. That speech, when you boil it all down, was the latest bit of evidence of what a failure Obama is and what a failure his ideas are, what a failure liberalism is, what a failure statism is. It was all wrapped up in that speech last night. Again, for a simple reason, folks. There was nothing he could have said that would change what he's done. There was nothing he could have said that would have changed the perception of what he's done. There was nothing. And this is why he didn't try it. I'm convinced. There was nothing he could have said that would have rebutted the idea that he has failed. And that's why he went back to the liberal boilerplate. Shore up the base. That's why he went back to the 30, 50-year-old playbook. That's why he started making fun of taxes and rich people. Started talking about how they care and we don't. Went back to the basics. That's all he's got. Shore up the base. Because there's nothing he could have said that would have made himself look like a success. No, Snerdley, don't frown at me. I'm telling you, there's nothing he could have said that could change what he's done. There's nothing he could have said to change what he's caused. There's nothing he could have said to make the 89 million people out of work think that that's good. There's nothing he could have said, and that's why he didn't say it, that would make people think the next 4 years are going to turn this around and be better like he said they were going to be 4 years ago. He didn't get specific about what the next 4 years are going to be because they're not going to be any better. His ideas fail. Nothing he could have said, nothing he could have done to change reality. Quick timeout. We'll be back. I'm going to play some of the audio sound bites of the media reacting to the economic news, the unemployment news today when we get back. Don't go away.